Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Kobe Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Kobe Owens.
And welcome to The Source, and Happy New Year's to all of you, God's children. Kobe, it's a new year.
I know. Happy 2026.
Is there anything special going on in your life for 2026?
It's the midterm elections.
Okay.
So my life is about to get very crazy with that, both on the national level, the state level, and even the county level. There's going to be some interesting primaries. But other than that, again, city council is not up this year.
Yeah.
So just focusing on the work that I have been doing in my budget requests, and really getting even more into this council.
Well, that's interesting because normally when you talk to a regular, normal person and you say, is anything exciting for the 2026? I'm always trying to edge and see where you are with this beautiful relationship. Your girlfriend is wonderful. And she even went out with us to the
Yes.
homeless thing. I like her so very much. But a normal person would say, well, I'm going to focus on my relationship and But no, not Kobe. He's going to focus on the politics and he's going to make sure that the world is safe and secure. Although as I saw you interacting with her, I see that you're doing what you need to do. So that's wonderful. I even saw my wife even talking to you and her. What's that all about? I saw that. I was like, what is she over there talking to them? She don't even know Kobe like that.
She was asking when the invitations are coming out.
Oh, Lord. See what happens? They don't even get a chance to see if you like each other. They just immediately say, when is the invitation coming out? We got to get to that point, right?
Right.
We got to get to that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to give you the opportunity to get to that point. But we are very excited for you, though.
Thank
And
you.
I hope and trust that all of you had a great opening new year. Christmas was doing very well. We do have one sad thing that we want to start off our show with today, is we want to talk a little bit about the 68-year-old woman who was murdered in her home. Share a little bit about that, Kobe.
Yeah. So on Christmas Eve, there was an incident that took place. Officers responded around 6 p.m. on December 24th to a reported assault. That's where they found Miss Karen Tucker, 68, suffering from critical injuries. She was transported to the hospital, but she later died. They located a 50-year-old Denario Griner inside of the house and took him into custody without any incidents. They determined that he was the person who assaulted her, and ended up charging him with first-degree murder, possession of a deadly weapon during a commission of a felony, and possession of a deadly weapon for a weapon by a person prohibited. And he's being held on a $563,000 cash-only bail at Howard R. Young Correctional Facility. Again, it's sad because this happened literally the day before Christmas. We had a very those 2 days, we lost the state trooper the day before. Then someone who was known over in that community very well. I know a lot of young people who have posted about what happened and how they may not have always listened to her.
Okay.
But she was like a grandmother of the block.
Wow.
So they were very sad that this happened. But
What district is that in?
this is 5th District,
The fifth-
Hilltop.
I know who's the city council person?
Christian Wilhauer.
Okay.
But the area that it's in, Lower Hilltop is usually where you see most of the violence at. But this was Hilltop.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I just ask those questions because I just like to know the sections of the city that things are going on and things are happening. And I feel really bad because, as you shared, there are some who have posted, I wish I would have listened to her more, or she was a person who would give wisdom and knowledge to those who she came in contact with. Life is very short.
It is.
And whoever this 50-year-old individual, as he go through this trial, I hope if he is the perpetrator of this crime, that he really reflect on the life that he snatched from the world, a life that certainly touched many people. And we are praying for her family. I think her last name was Tucker, and we're going to make sure that we keep the Tucker family in prayer and that community as well. I do want to just have a quick conversation on the Reading Consortium. After we voted fully to, and I shouldn't say we because I'm not on the commission, but after they voted fully to go with the one school district, I know they're on vacation right now until after the Christmas break, but I want to continue to bring up that we were going to make sure that we are paying close attention. Someone asked me, Kobe, what will be your legacy when you've left the pastoralship, when you have left a community? And I really don't know what the legacy will be, but one thing I want to make sure I'm doing is making a difference in every area. But what matters to me is our young people. Violence matter to me. Preaching definitely matters to me, but our young people is our ticket to the future. And if we're not depositing something positive in their lives, then we are really wasting our purpose for being on the earth. So I am hopeful that when they return, that you and I continue to keep our voice there so that those who had some concern about one large district will realize there will be a branch off for various segments, but the appropriate funds, this is the key, for every area. For example, if Wilmington has more need, then Wilmington will get more money.
Yes.
Because we have to make sure that we are getting our kids up to where they need to be. Whereas if Brandywine has done very well with their children and they have the supportive parents and support of this and support of that, then they may not need as much funds as the city would need in order to deal with some of the IEPs and the various things that we have. And I think that is the main goal. Am I right?
I think so, and I think this goes hand in hand with the how they are working to restructure our public funding for our school system. And again, when people talk about more funds for the kids, that doesn't mean we're just pitting dollars there. It means we're putting the resources there. So if there needs to be more teachers, dedicated paras, or other support staff, right? So I know one of the things that could be offered is additional tutoring help in school during free periods where you may not have the ability to do the one-on-one, but you can do a small group, maybe 1 to 5, right? 1 to 4, and have that person working with those kids to help get them back on track to where they need to be. And hopefully with that additional support, they won't need it full term, right? They won't need it the full school year, or they won't need it the full time they're in school, but it's there if they still do, right? So those are some of the things that they're still needed. Another big thing, especially for the city, is trauma-informed counselors. Our students see so much, they go through so much, and I can speak from experience from the PAL. We lost a staff member earlier this year, and she was the staffer who connected not only with her colleagues, connected with the parents, connected with the students. She was someone that the students felt like they could trust because she understood she's been through stuff herself. She wouldn't judge them. So when she passed away, some of the students didn't know how to process that trauma, process that grief. And it turned into acting out. It turned into not wanting to do any more work. And Kendra was one of those people who was like, finish your homework, then you can go do this. And they would listen to her. Now, if another staffer said that, you're going to get back talk, right? Our kids deal with so much trauma on a daily basis, and they just compress it. If you don't have that proper support system to help get some of that up off your spirit, then you're not going to be able to focus on what you're in school for.
Absolutely.
So additional resources and stuff like that is what we really need in our schools.
I had a very long discussion. It was almost a debate, an argument in the barbershop. I still get my hair cut in Wilmington. I don't go, most of what I do is in Wilmington. I even shop in the Wilmington supermarkets because it's important to me that I continue to keep the dollars as much in the city as possible. But in the barbershop, early in the morning, a couple times, I've had long, lengthy debates because some of them are upset with me. Some of their wives work. Barbara's wife, for example, she works in the school system, so they're feeling this large school district is just not going to work. And one of the things I said to them on this last week is that we're going to have to move ourselves from just saying parents need to be held accountable, because that's the big argument in a community. For those good parents, they're saying that parents need to be held accountable. Well, all of the time I know, we've always had lazy, trifling parents, okay? But there was a system in place where, one, we held them accountable, but we did not avoid giving the children the services they needed. I was raised in a very poor neighborhood. I was raised very poor. And honestly, parents weren't always there. I'm sorry. I had a good mother. She was a single parent. She had to work. And I'm not giving excuses for some of these trifling parents. But what I am saying is we should not have a $84 million building over there and don't have the services we need, and keep saying, well, if the parents would do more. Stop the excuse. I think that's a trick. We need to make sure we have the accountability of the parents, but also the accountability of the staffers. Because some of the staffers are just as hood as can be. I've called schools, and the way they answer the phone, the way all of this is modeling for the children. If the children feel that, hey, this is not conducive, they don't react. I know most of our research is most of our responses are out of research, but sometimes I like to go to the core of the problem. And the problem is we have to hold people accountable. Accountability is going to be very important. And when we start talking about the one school district and different branches, different offices throughout that one district, we have to make sure that whoever is leading is holding people accountable. You talked about children being able to have tutoring. Then whoever we put in there to tutor has to be committed to it. If a child is acting out, if a child is misbehaving, we have to get to the root of that problem. And if it's because of trauma, if it's because of learning disability, then we need to deal with that issue. But what we cannot do anymore is we cannot say, well, this child is unteachable, let's suspend them and send them home. That is something that I'm not interested in.
And I think another big thing with that is making sure that with this bigger district, this one district model, everyone's on the same playing field. They're learning the same thing. They have a very set in writing. What are these steps when someone acts out, right? Because what we're seeing right now is all 4 school districts handle it different. But the only common factor is if a Black student and a white student do the same thing, it's more likely that the Black student is going to either be suspended, expelled, or get a detention versus their white counterpart.
Yeah. Now, there's only going to be one superintendent. Do you think that the superintendent will come from out of the current 4?
Potentially. There's only one that I think would be qualified.
Right.
And I won't say that on air.
Well, let me just tell you, I don't know who yours is, as I don't want to cut you off neither, but I think there is one. Only one. And again, we may disagree, but I think Darnell is the one, in my opinion, who understands and who have got the proven track record. I watched what happened. I watched what happened at the vote, and I saw the special interests. We do not need, and I'm saying this to the governor, I'm gonna say this to the state board, whoever is going to hire the superintendent, we do not need cronies from their own special interest group. We need someone who understands education, who understands urban education too. That's important. Not just understanding the education. Anybody else can read the research. Most of my degrees are in education. So you got to read the research to understand what's going on. But if you don't understand how to educate urban children, you are lost. And also, what about this? Is there going to be a school board where it's just one board? And how do you think that should look?
Yeah, so I think, again, my biggest thing with school boards is you have nominating districts, but then the whole school district votes to elect them. I think with this new model, the state needs to change it so that only the people from that nominating district can vote for that person.
So, for example, if let's just say we have 6 offices. I don't know what they're going to call it. If we got 6 offices in this one whole school district, should each office have a representative on the board that, in other words, and they vote from that office? For example, if it's Wilmington, Okay, the Wilmington office. Then should we just say, okay, everybody from Wilmington can vote for who should be the representative of that board? Is
Correct.
that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, and I agree with that. So if we got a plethora of different, if we got 5 offices, then we're going to have 6-member board because you got to have 5-member board because you got to at least have one odd number, and it represents the constituency of that area.
Correct.
I think that would be very powerful, and you think it should still be an elected position, not appointed.
Yes.
Okay, because that could become very political.
Correct.
Oh my Lord! But so, and should the board vote, or should the state board say this is who we want to lead this effort?
So I think the state board and the governor will potentially appoint the interim superintendent, and the governor will probably appoint the interim board until elections are set. What should happen is elections should be set for all the seats. They're all up at the same time. And then after that first election, that's when they become staggered. And then that new board will then select who the superintendent will be.
Okay, that makes sense. The initial one will be selected by the governor. And I think because you don't want to get the wrong governor in, and then it's like only that person's boy can get in, or girl, and we don't want. So I think that's a good thing. What we're trying to do right now on this segment of the show is just talk it through it, because some people are just only hearing certain things. This is the type of planning they will have to do, and this is the type of things we're going to be sharing. We're going to constantly be sharing that we want to see Wilmington represented in this large district, but we also want to make sure other sections of the Newcastle County is represented and done well. But what Kobe just said, I think, is so key, is that they all are learning the same thing and handling IEPs, handling discipline, all the same way, and it will help our children understand their structure, and that's how children learn best. And research says that's how they learn best. So, Kobe, I think as we continue to move forward and until they start back meeting again, we're going to continue to have our little discussions of how we think it should look. And I've learned without a vision, people perish. So I believe that we're going to see a lot of this framing come out. And I'm sure, because we have a lot of people who watch our show who are political, who are maybe the governor, maybe he may watch. We don't know, but I think he does, and his people. And not only that, but the state board folks will be watching as well. Before we go from my segment to yours, I want to just spend a couple minutes, and then I want to come back and spend some more time, because this is really dear to my heart now. Our unhoused population is really starting to touch us in a way that I have never been affected before. Okay, and I want to thank you and your girlfriend and who joined Zion Fair while we went out, and without cameras, without public press, without announcing it, and gave out whatever we gave out to help show them. There was another family there, though, before I get started on this. It happened to be members of our church, though, who were there doing a cookout and haircut. I thought that was very key. And I was shocked to see so many of our unhoused brothers and sisters utilizing certain, and it was sisters too, because he was arching up eyebrows and things of that nature. I said, this is just awesome. So I want to say shout out to the Preston family, who I think did a phenomenal job in doing what they do. Now, let me get to the heart of what I want to really share. There are 2 facilities that are being opened. The governor has done a very good job with the crime in our city, allowing Chief Campos to do what he needed to do. I think the governor understands dynamics. He was a good governor too. And I shouldn't say keep saying the governor. I meant to say the mayor. But anyway, he was a good governor. Okay. No one is an A+, but he was a good governor too. I hope he now will have a conversation with the current governor, and I hope that the current governor, the mayor, and Carrie Casey sit down with a meeting. And I wouldn't be mad if they include Chris Curry in that meeting too. But that's all right. They ain't got to include me. The relevant question is, how did the county acquire that building, the hotel? What was it called? The Hilton at the time?
Where the Hope Center is?
Yes.
I believe it was a Westin?
It
was going to be a Westin.
Okay, well, how did they get that? What are they doing currently? What facilities they are using? What services they have? not so much to do a duplicate of the type of services, because if we got the services over there, we can still provide it and do the transportation. But there are two locations. We have the Plumber Center, which is in Wilmington. Am I correct?
Correct.
Then you have, there was a hotel, a motel. It was an indoor hotel called, I think it's the Country Inn, that is now closed down. It's boarded up. It's in Wilmington. It's in Newark, across the street from the hospital, the Christiana Hospital, right sandwiched between a seafood place as well as where the Olive Gardens and all those are. It's boarded up. What did the county do to get the building? I think the mayor has to now figure that out with the governor, and the governor should know because he did it. And we need to get our unhoused population housed. Let me say this to you, Kobe. Where they are situated, it is cold. You asked me a question. Did you go through and walk through? No, I was cold. Now, I'm going to be honest and transparent. I was handing out stuff. I was doing stuff. My hands even got cold. And I'm saying they have to live in these conditions. Now, there are people who always got something to say about mental stability. Services need to be provided for that. And we got money, and I know I'm talking a whole lot. Normally, I give you a chance to do more of the talking. But I'm now ready to start speaking out stronger. We can't keep electing people who are not concerned about our unhoused population. It's time to stop it now. And it's time to stop talking about it. Well, we put them over there on Christiana Park. Is it what, Christiana Park?
Christiana.
We put them over there, and they got a nice little open area. And no. They need warmth.
Yes.
They need services. And if we can find money to do all the other stuff we find money to do, we can find money to, because they did it in the county. And they say, well, that's just for dislocated people. Well, these individuals are dislocated too. And all of them are not mental cases. Because Kobe, what I found out, because I didn't believe you. Now, open confession is important. You made comments on our show that, some of these people work at Walmart. I didn't believe that. I did not. I just said, no. This is Kobe talking. Well, I went and I talked to some of them. Yes, some of them work in some of they just cannot afford rent. And what really got me, and I'm gonna give you over the mic in a second, because I'm compassionate about this. What really got me is when I saw some of the applications for our seniors. We're getting ready to now start moving them in. On the applications, one of the things they have to do is get a recommendation from their current landlord. So I said that was going to be hard, but it shouldn't be too hard, or it could be hard. I don't know. Over and over and over again, from some of the candidates that we have to go into the house, we found this. This is the remarks the landlords are making. We would love to keep them, but we know it's too expensive. I'm sitting there saying, I'm thinking they're going to say things like, they didn't pay their rent. Let them go. I got proof that they are saying, we don't want them to go, but we understand they can't afford to stay. That's horrible.
They can't afford the price point that they want to make it to stay.
Yeah, well, if you think about what I'm doing, I'm doing 33%. So whatever their income is, that's all they got to cough up.
Right.
But here's a good example. One, and I'm not giving anybody's name or anything. One of these seniors is making about $2,000 a month. Okay, that's their total income. They would have to pay us about $600 a month to live in our property. I know that's a little bit less than 30, a little bit less than 33%, but this is to say 600. Do you know how much money that person is paying? They got $2,000 income. You know how much that person is paying to stay in somebody else's apartment in the city of Wilmington? $1,400. So that means they have literally, and this is not electric, gas,
right,
food. No, they literally only have about $400 or $600, I guess, to do all that other stuff. That's not fair, Kobe. That's not fair. And I think when we keep talking about this affordable housing, everybody want to pop up with affordable housing. It's a fraud. What is that favorite word Trump likes to use when he says is something
fake news?
Well, it's fake news. But there's another word he always say when he says a hoax.
Oh yeah.
I think when people start talking about affordable housing and they don't do it the way we're doing it, it's a hoax. It's fake news. It's not real. Because to say that the people in Southbridge medium income is $80,000, that's a hoax. That's a fake news. That is not real, and it's not fair. Go ahead, Kobe. I done shut you up the whole time. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. And just going back to Christina Park over there, you have the working unhoused.
Yeah.
And earlier in and I'm going to talk about this in my corner, some of the highlights from 2025, but we pushed for rent stabilization. And the landlords came out heavily against it. They, we should be able to charge what we want. Now, one of the BBG buildings, they're taking their rent up starting tomorrow. They got notice, starting January 1st, they got notice on the day after Christmas, the 26th, that their rent's going up $200 a month.
Where?
At the Cooper.
Unbelievable.
So the people in there who've been, okay, they make some money, but now they're like, whoa, $200 extra a month. Mm-hmm. And you may still raise it again. That's a lot of money. So now they're starting to get wary. People, you literally talk to people at Christina Park, they have been priced out of their homes. Mm-hmm. They couldn't afford it. They fell on hard times. Their hours got cut. They're working at these places that are strategically making them part-time. And I say that because they'll work them up until the hour mark so that they don't have to do benefits and stuff like that. So now they're still paying out of pocket for healthcare if they do take healthcare. I know for city services, Christina Park is, I see the EMS down there all the time. And I can almost guarantee you some of those calls are everyone, it's drug related, someone's having an OD. No. When you're by the water, when you're in the cold, your body's shivering and everything, you're going through all different types of stuff. Organs start not working how they should be functioning. Blood flow isn't the same. So you start having more problems, lighthead, whatsoever. So yeah, that's going to, until we do something now and put that money on the front end, it's going to cost us on the back end.
Absolutely.
And all I'm saying is,
but what I don't want to happen, Kobe, and I can care less about how much money it costs us. What I don't want to happen is for it to cost people lives, and it's happening.
It is
because it is doing it slowly, and that's what the fact is, and that's why I bring up the Plumber Center, and I bring up the Country Inn. It's time to say, open those buildings, give the services, do the supervision. And that's more jobs too, by the way. That's more jobs. If they have an income, let's make sure they are given the income. And some people say, well, they don't want anything better. Maybe 2 or 3 don't, but we're not going to base all our research on 2 or 3. We're going to base it on the majority. And when one young man came to me and said, Pastor, he didn't call me Pastor, he said, sir, could I have a coat for my son? I said, your son? I said, your son? He said, yes, my son is here too. And I gave him one because your son? You mean a child has to live in this condition?
Not just a child. Luckily, Carrie Casey and the Hope Center, they worked with the city, but there was multiple pregnant women out there.
Oh my Lord.
And they were out there, and I had seen them multiple times, never really talked to them, always gave them supplies. But Miss Cindy, who I call the mayor of Tent City, once she started trusting me and everything, she took me over to their tent, and she was like, they're pregnant and they shouldn't be out here. She's not worried about getting herself out of there. She was worried about them. And we worked with the county and the Hope Center, and we got them placed in there, and hopefully they're on their journey to get in some permanent housing. But one was 5 months and one was 6 months.
Jesus. Kobe, we're going to take a quick commercial break because we are way past the time. But I don't care because at this point, I'm more concerned about our unhoused population.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep that at the front of our conversation. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
Join us live for our weekly worship. Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
And we're back. Kobe, what's going on with the Kobe Corner?
Yeah, so 2026 is a big year for America. It's our 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, where only a small majority of residents here at that time were actually free and independent. Our people were still in chains and had to fight for our freedom. We still have to fight for our freedom. This country, which is built on a dream of being the biggest and the best, is the same country in which you can go broke and bankrupt over healthcare costs. Insurance companies dominate the market. You have to live affordable, quote unquote, affordable and comfortable. Here in Delaware alone, you would need to make $81,000 a year, which the vast majority of people do not make. People are spending too much on their housing. Food is out of control. They're even selling canned air now. This capitalist society that we live in, that we call America, is celebrating 250 years. While there'll be celebrations, I think it's also a time to reflect on where we have come and where we need to refocus our efforts. We talked about the unhoused community. We talked about the housing crisis a little bit. And over this past year, we have touched on a lot of different points when it comes to healthcare, environmental, housing, criminal justice, politics. And this next year is going to be very interesting. We have a critical midterm election. I don't think anyone doubts this, but I'm a Democrat. And I'm a Democrat through and through. I hold them accountable, but I also know that I have a better chance with them than I do with the opposition right now. And let me just say, 2025 has been a rough year of divisive policies, actions by the federal government, funding being stripped from nonprofits. We have seen a new increase in HIV/AIDS. We have seen the funding stripped from breast cancer research, not just breast cancer research, but numerous different cancer researches. We've seen public universities defunded because they had DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. We've seen major corporations that after a Black man was killed and state that they were going to support Black community on day one of Trump's presidency, go back on that word, and they have lost billions of dollars because at the end of the day, we may not have the most money, but no one spends like us.
You're right.
You have seen a property tax reassessment hit this community hard. And we are now in the first few weeks of the new year. You can appeal your current assessment so that you can change your tax bill that will come out later this year. But as we look ahead to 2026, I know that was the doom and gloom part of it. Like I said, we have a critical midterm election. And in this midterm election, it's not just the federal level, it's the state level as well too. Here in Delaware, we have a U.S. Senator seat up. We have our congressional seat up, currently held by Senator Chris Coons and Congresswoman Sarah McBride. Our Attorney General seats up, our Auditor seats up, our Treasurer seats up. State Treasurer Colleen Davis has announced she is retiring at the end of her term, which means this will be an open seat. You also have half of the Delaware State Senate up, the entire Delaware General Assembly. The House side is up, all 41 seats there. You have 2 retirements already from Sussex area, none from up this area. And then you also have half of the Newcastle County Council up, 1 through 8 are up this go around. So again, we'll keep you updated on all the elections that are going on. I don't know if we'll be doing our debate series again, but I will keep y'all updated on getting that information about who is running, what their platforms are, and don't just give your vote away. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you look into who's running, what they're running on, and how they will best serve our community. For the city side, none of us are up, the mayor, treasurer, or any of the city council. We're not up until 2028. But 2026 is an important year. We are already in the early stages of forming a budget. This is the first fully budget that the mayor and city council are working on as a new group together. We still worked off the old mayor's recommendations. Now it's all of us. And we've done some good. We still have a long way to go. I'm proposing a $1 million rental assistance program that will cover up to 3 months of your rent for the city of Wilmington. And again, it would be $1 million that would go into that. That may seem like a lot, but we have a budget stabilization fund. This is the same fund that they pulled $10 million out to give to Longwood Foundation for the Bryce Bridge project, which is good. It brings in development. It brings in universities into the city of Wilmington. We have about $25 million extra dollars than what should be in there. We're sitting at about $76 million in that account. We should be around $50 million to be good. So we have some extra money that we could pay things with for a one-time or two-time investment. I think it would be important to make sure that we help the people who are struggling the most right now, especially with increases in utility prices, to pull $1 million from that and put it into a rental assistance program to help our residents here.
And can I just say this to you, and for those of you who are watching us, I just want y'all to stop listening to the people who have. Okay, could you just do me a favor? Because I'm doing well as a person. I'm fine, but I am never going to forget the fact that there are people who are not. And I know they I joke with Kobe all the time, calling him the big liberal, and he is a liberal. But the reality of it is, if he can't speak up, who will? And for us to continue to say, well, all you want to do is spend money. All you want to do is spend money. We don't say that when we give it to those rich developers. We don't say that, oh, well, they're going to bring in housing, but they're going to continue to enrich themselves. I think that there's some, if we got $80 million sitting in a coffer somewhere, then I think that we can help our brothers and sisters while we're trying to get over this hump. And I think that's the purpose for having these type of things. So I just wanted to say that, because people were quick to say, well, he's just a liberal. He just want to give, spend. But we don't say that when we're trying to give it to the developers.
Right. And we already collected on this money. This is money that they've increased your taxes on already. And just to sit it in a pot, just so that they can increase your taxes again. I think we should pull from that $25 million and use it to improve our water infrastructure so that we don't have to increase the water and sewage tax. That doesn't only affect the city incorporated, it also affects Anyone who gets water from the city of Wilmington, they would also see an increase in their bill as well too. I voted no against that last year. I will probably vote no against a water increase this year as well too. And then again, adding some additional money to help with individuals who are struggling to pay this property reassessment to stabilize what is going on. The mayor put some money aside. Last time, it was not enough. Until we get these assessments fixed, I think we should still help our residents to make sure that they're not losing their homes. And while we talked about individuals who have to pay that huge tax bill directly to the city of Wilmington, I also want to talk about individuals need help who have mortgages. They're not paying to the city. They're paying to their bank, their lender, whatsoever. They don't have to abide by our moratorium on foreclosures.
Right.
If you're not paying the bank, they can still come for you. And people have seen huge increases, even though it's broken up. A $100 increase to your mortgage is still a lot.
Oh yeah.
A $300 increase to your mortgage monthly is still a lot. So again, just being very careful about all of that.
Yeah.
But I think the last thing I want to bring up, because I do want to talk a little bit more about Christina Park.
Okay.
And some international stuff as well too. The last thing I'll say is the election in 2026 on a federal level. The Democrats need to win the Senate. I think they will definitely win the House, but they need to win the Senate as well too, because I have a strong fear that if he loses the House, he will put pressure on one or two of the conservative Supreme Court justices to step down early so that he can appoint 2 more justices who are young. And when I mean young, I mean he has appointed a 43-year-old, a 45-year-old, and a 46-year-old. So they will be on the bench for 20, 30 years if they are in good health. Maybe even 40.
Clarence.
Like Clarence.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we can stop that. Because the Supreme Court is already lost. But if they put younger people on there, it will be gone for decades after Trump is gone, decades after all these senators who are currently in now.
And if you understand his ego, you know that's a part of his plan.
Yes.
You want to know what his mark is going to be? I changed that whole Supreme Court. It is now truly a conservative court.
It is.
But it's not even conservative. It's just like right wing. It's horrible.
And again, Democrats have to be honest and real with themselves. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a trailblazer, but when Obama and them asked her would she consider retiring, she said no. She wanted her replacement to be appointed by a woman president. It shows the arrogance that everyone just thought Hillary was going to win.
Yeah.
So we have to be real with ourselves and use some of the same strategies to make sure that we're pitting people on who can last longer on the Supreme Court. I'm extremely proud of the work that Ketanji is doing. I have talked 3 times in my life with Justice Egan and numerous times with Justice Sotomayor. Both of them are having extreme health issues. And I pray for them. Not just to stay alive, but so that they can retire in peace. But they can't retire until after 2028. Not until 2029.
Well, and who says we're going to get it in 28?
That's another thing.
And that's why people need to have better strategic planning. Yeah.
So again, these midterms elections, you're going to see a lot of stuff, a lot of attacks. They're already starting up.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a busy year, but try to navigate your way through all the noise and look at who's really running to represent you.
Yeah, I think that's going to be good, really good. Well, Kobe, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And you have anything else before I go?
That's all I have.
We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Christopher Holton. I'm very active. It was a Saturday morning. Normally I go for my normal walk.
With no warning, Chris suffered a near-fatal heart attack. But thankfully, Brian Buckley, a bystander, saw him collapse and rushed to help.
He did this big gasp for air and then just stopped. It's like I went into autopilot. It's like all that training I did back in the day around CPR just magically came out of nowhere.
Because of the CPR training that Brian received, Chris did make it and didn't die on the trail that day. CPR training provided by the American Heart Association.
Looking at your hands, these two hands could save a life.
Being a father, you want to be around. You want to be around for your kids.
Heart disease is America's #1 killer. To learn more about how the American Heart Association helps save lives, go to helpheart.org. Life can throw a lot at us, but what helps us through it is knowing we have a place where we feel loved, grounded, and safe. A place where we belong. A place called home. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we care for homeless and at-risk youth, working in communities just like yours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here, these kids will get a shower, clean clothes, nourishing meals, and a safe place to sleep. Our caring staff teach life skills, offer stability, and encourage kids to believe in themselves so they stay off the streets for good. We're committed to giving lost, scared, and hurting children a place to go, a place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
One more time before you wake up in the wild. In your eyes, I see a flower slowly dying.
Together with the Nature Conservancy, you have the power to make a difference. For unspoiled nature, for beautiful wildlife, and for people everywhere. Together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive.
Oh, in the wild, you're gonna make it. The moonlight is here to take you.
Our natural world needs us now. Every day, we lose more lands, waters, and the wild species that depend on them. To learn more, visit nature.org today.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
And we're back. Kobe, as we are closing out our first show of the year, I do want to go international this time, or international. How is it that Putin can play Trump to the level that he does? Trump confessed to be very smart, know how to read, people know how to read the room. He's so brilliant. And everybody but he can see that Putin is just playing him.
Oh, yeah. I think Putin thinks that this is a game. Honestly, he's having fun doing this, and this is Trump being serious. This is Trump, as he said on his campaign, I'll bring peace between Ukraine and Russia in 24 hours.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of 24 hours, right?
It's been a 365 days, and still no peace.
Right.
Still no peace. They've had multiple summits. They've met in different countries. I believe it was 8 or 9 peace deals have been put up by the U.S. And Fox News talked about, yes, Ukraine accepted them, but they didn't really mean it. And CNN put up a really good graphic that said this was accepted by Ukraine. Each one was accepted by Ukraine, and each one was denied by Russia for a different reason. So then the next one included the reason that Russia wanted, except for a few things, and Russia still denied. Russia does not want peace.
No.
Russia wants Ukraine back under.
He don't consider
their
them as
government.
being legitimate.
No, he doesn't. So again, now Trump is saying this is not a one-day process deal. This is very complicated. But it takes someone with his knowledge to get it done. So again, he's still campaigning, and his base won't hold him accountable. But again, this is where we're at right now. We're at a place where there is still war going on between Russia and Ukraine. There's still war going on in Gaza.
Yeah.
Despite everything that Trump keeps saying, that he brought peace to the Middle East. It's no peace there.
Well, we can see.
Trump, again, handpicked Mike Walls, congressman from Florida, to be his national security advisor. And he handcuffs him. He doesn't want to listen to him. He doesn't want to listen to the former Democratic congresswoman who's now in his administration, Tulsi Gabbard. He doesn't want to listen to anyone because no one knows more than him.
That's right. He's the smartest cookie.
Smartest person. And when asked about this, when the press secretary was asked about this the other day, she made a joke that I don't know how it sits well with Christians, but said to question Trump is like questioning God.
Oh, gee. Well, in their world, maybe that's true.
Oh, fair. What is you shouldn't idolize? What is it? I'm not.
Oh, you mean like make other gods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. I went to Catholic school for all these years. Now I'm drawing a blank. But you shouldn't idolize someone else like they're a god.
Yeah.
Right? That is a core teaching in the more conservative Christian.
And thou shalt have no other God before me.
Yes,
Yeah.
there we go. In the more conservative Christian teachings, right? That is something that they try to drill into you, right? You shouldn't put sports before God. That's why the NFL is bad, right? Because the NFL took Sunday from Jesus. No, I can still be with God and then go watch NFL. Eagles come on at 1. But for Trump, they just let him get away and say anything, and then his lieutenants put these messages out that he is a god. He's untouchable. And that is not true whatsoever.
No.
That is not true. But we have a long year ahead of us that I still don't see a resolution coming for this ongoing Ukrainian war. I think even the vice president, J.D. Vance, has said that maybe it's time to bring in like more diplomatic people who understands the ongoing conflict. But when he was questioned on it, they asked why they fired all the people who had extreme knowledge on the area. And their response was they wasn't loyal to Trump. So
everything is going back to Trump.
Everything is going back
and that's
to him.
why Trump is just full of it. But this is my fear. My fear is that Ukraine is going to collapse if we don't get them the help. What we could help them. Now, I'm going to be straight, and I don't care if Biden supporters are watching me or listening. He should have done more.
Yeah.
He should have done more. He should not have played with this, knowing, even if we felt and that shows our arrogance again, like you said about Ruth. we're going to win. So we'll just spread it out. No, we lost.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got a president who really he's disdained by the president for Ukraine, and he it's like he want to get him back for not supporting him in lying on Biden, and that's what should have given Biden the incentive to make sure that he tried to do some stuff when he was going out, but that got unraveled right away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. I just feel so bad that we are in this situation. And that man has been fighting for his country for the last 4 years. And he's been fighting. And for Putin, or not Putin, but for Trump to continue to say, if I would have been president, it would have never happened. He's lying again.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you are president. You should make it not happen.
happening.
Because he's using him as a puppet. And I don't understand why. Do you think that Putin has something on Trump?
Probably. He probably has those Epstein files too. I would have been
I ain't
shocked.
think about that.
They're good hackers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. The Epstein files where Trump said I was never on the plane, and somehow it's 8 different pictures from 8 different days of him on the plane. But I guess he didn't remember that.
Yeah, and you have a right not to remember when you don't want to remember, right? Yeah. But we're gonna be watching that very carefully, and I hope that for those of you who watch us every week, please pray for Ukraine that a breakthrough comes through. And I'm kind of glad that the European countries have stepped up a little bit, but the power is really within America. We can bring an end to this tomorrow, and he was right. He could close this down in 24 hours because all you gotta do is let those missiles that can go into Russia. Give it to them and say, look, you do what you got to do to win. And I guarantee you, Putin will be at the negotiating table the next day. Because with the little, as small as Ukraine is, you would have thought that Putin would have taken them over by now, but they can't because they're smart.
They haven't.
And they won't be able to unless, sometimes I think he's trying to wear them out. And that's can happen when you're not really giving them the support that they need. But we're going to keep them in prayer. Kobe, this is the beginning of the new year. You already told us what you're looking forward to doing. Is there any exciting things going on in your life beyond we talked about your girlfriend, we talked about your midterms, anything else exciting going on? Any more fights you got to go and get arrested for?
I feel as though there will be a few, especially with this housing crisis, but with this growing immigration crisis as well too, trying to bring more attention to that. Anyone who knows me knows I've done nonviolent civil disobedience for years now. 2025 is the first year I haven't done any actions. Again, it was a planning year for a lot of things. And again, you don't just show up, get arrested, right? Mm-hmm. It's about having a strategic foundation behind you on how to bring awareness to something and what you're fighting for. So this last year, all of us have taken the time. We meet every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. And y'all know I'm not a morning person. I was going to
say, you get up that early?
But it's a Zoom meeting.
Oh, okay.
I may get on at 7:15, 7:20 some days and talk strategy on what we need to do. And because of the changing dynamics all across America, it's been more difficult this year.
Well, we're going to see, we're going to watch, we're going to pray. And I just hope we can get through. We will get through 26 fine. Obamacare, or should I say the ACA, was not approved as of the first of the year, but they're going to come back and we're going to see what happens with that. These are just things that we're going to be following to see how it turns out. The economy is supposed to be good, but it is not. So we're going to see. So, Kobe, that's all I have on my calendar for the day. Is there anything else you have on yours?
That's all I have. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year. And it has been a very good show today, and I hope that you would have enjoyed it. But remember this, we have brothers and we have sisters, whether it be Caucasian or Black or Latino or whatever ethnicity they are or nationality they are, who are kind of unhoused right now. And we have to keep them in mind. When you're in your warm house and and being comfortable with what you're doing, remember you got people out there who really want just the same conveniences that you have. They don't have to have it to the level of luxury, but just to a level where they can at least survive. I think we got to continue to think about them, and let's try to find a way to pressure our politicians and those who are in charge of government to try to help them. Until the next time, God bless.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Sword. with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Kobe Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.